Hey y'all, what's up? It's the girl Roxanne, and we back again. And y'all know we left off on chapter 11. It's Jerome's chapter. I don't know why, but every time we start, we always end up starting on Jerome's chapter. Anywho, hey Jerome, I just wanted to apologize. I was at the Waffle House in Danville drinking a cup of coffee and admiring Ron's flawless skin. When he put down his fork to address me, he just devoured a 12-ounce steak, 3 scrambled eggs, hash browns, 6 slices of toast in a mere minute. I had an appetite like that too when I was younger. But the age came to an understanding that if I ate like that now, I'd be twice my size. I don't want that. Ron had loosened up a little bit since we left the police station, and I was starting to see glimpses of the old happy-go-lucky Ron. But there was no doubt the past year had taken quite a toll on him. I had convinced him to stay at a hotel near my place in Richmond for the weekend. Now, I am going to do a little background on who Ron is because I know last week I was kind of speaking a little, not last week, but the last video or two, I was speaking a little fast because each time I was recording this, my phone was either about to die or I had to get it all in before my storage ran out, right? So anyway, Ron is Jerome's little sneaky link who was in he had like a basketball scholarship and stuff, but he ended up, people ended up finding out who he were, and basically like Jerome's stalker outed him and he ended up being exposed for being on the DL, whatever case may be. And so right now he's not too comfortable being out with Jerome right now because he's like, man, you ruined my life. Like, there's not really much I really want to say to you. Was that Ron, or was Ron the one that he just bailed out? Y'all, don't listen to me. I'm a little tired. Don't listen to me. But anyway, listen to me. I think Ron was the one that he just bailed out, y'all. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. Yeah, this is the one that he just bailed out. I'm thinking of the other boy. Man, he got so many on his roster. I lost count at this point. I lost count, Bookie. Yeah. Make sure y'all drinking y'all water today because it is hot as balls outside. But yeah. I convinced him to stay at a hotel near my place in Richmond for the weekend. Once we got the car out of the impound, my next objective was to convince him that we needed to share a room with me. What are you apologizing for? I don't know. Everything, I guess. I'm not proud of the way things went down the last time I saw you. You've been nothing but nice to me. I just freaked out. I wasn't ready for that kind of exposure. No, I was right. I'm still not. Hey, I understand. I wish I could have walked out of the closet instead of being thrown out of it. I never wanted that for you. I wish that day never happened. Although the incident was Peter's fault, the two of us were the ones feeling shitty about it. What was the point of that? If we let it keep us down and Peter had won. I tried to change the subject. Hey man, are you working? He frowned. I was working at the movie theater, but I doubt I have a job now. Why is that? The guy I assaulted was my manager. What'd he do? Cheat you out some hours? If that were the case, beating up some guy was a pretty extreme reaction, but I was sure that Ron was carrying a lot of pent-up anger ever since he had dropped out of high school in disgrace. No, it wasn't over hours. It's complicated. Now I was intrigued. Was it possible it was a lover's quarrel gone into the overdrive? I wouldn't have expected Ron to be dating any guys, at least not yet. The night he punched me in the face and told me he didn't want to see me anymore, I assumed he would at least leave the gay lifestyle alone, at least until he sorted everything out. If he was dating men, I definitely wanted to know about it because it might improve my chances of getting back into bed with him. I consider myself a bright guy and I don't have anywhere to be, so spill it, I said. Let's put it this way. Danville is not like Richmond. It's a small town. Everybody knows me down here. I used to be a big star when I came home. They all wanted to know why I wasn't in school. I grimaced because I could imagine how difficult that must have been for a kid who was already ready to be out and proud. What'd you tell them? I just told them that school wasn't for me. Most of them probably thought that I was a Prop 8 student anyway, so they left me alone. But then word started to get around about the pictures of me being gay. I knew people were talking behind my back because it was driving my mom crazy. I was dealing with it the best I could, trying to ignore it, but 2 days ago, my manager, this flaming dude, comes up to me right in the face and asks me if I'm sweet. I'm sorry. I tried to break his fucking jaw. I shook my head. I run into a few guys like this into my life. Gay men who would flounce around like women and expect every other gay man to be down with it. They have no idea how hard it is for us to make those of us who happen to love men but aren't trying to throw it in everyone's faces. Well, you're right. You can't go back to that job. But if I was there, I would have beat the crap out of that guy, myself. He smiled for the first time. So what do you want to do with yourself? I love to go back to school, but all I ever wanted to do was play ball. I'd give anything to be back on the court. I guess that's the real reason I was so mad at you for so long. I used to think if I hadn't met you, I would still be in school playing ball. And for that, I'm sorry, Ron. I wasn't trying to hold up. He reached across the table and touched my hand lightly. I'm not trying to blame this on you anymore. You didn't force me into anything. All you did was open a door. I was the one who walked through it, but I'm no sissy, Jerome. I'm a man. I know that. No one knows that better than me. But society doesn't. Society thinks we're monsters, and so does my mama. The words rushed from his mouth, and my heart ached for him. I don't care who you sleep with. No one should just feel the rejection of his own mother. I reasoned. Society is changing, and well, no disrespect, but your mama is just plain wrong. Don't I know it? We live in the same house, and she barely speaks to me. I know she's embarrassed, but I never thought my mom would turn her back on me. I just felt like running away where nobody knows me. I feel you on that one. I had the same fantasy during times of trouble. In fact, a few times I gotten on a plane and escaped for the whole time to get my head straight. Although I turned to my home in Virginia. You ever been to Europe? Nope. I always wanted to go to Paris though. Paris is nice. People are a lot more tolerant there. Good place to start over. You'd like it. You'd act like I shouldn't go there or something. No, you should. He shot me a dismissive glance. Oh, what, my looks? I'm unemployed and owe you for bailing me out? I ain't got no money to be moving to France. You know if you put your mind to it, you can make it on your looks. But I'm betting on your jump shot. There's no way I can go back into the game now that everyone knows about me. No one wants to be in the locker room with a gay guy. I think I'm not there to play the game, but just to stare at the ugly asses in the shower. I'm not talking about playing ball there. Then what are you talking about? I'm talking about you playing ball for a European pro team. And how the hell am I supposed to do that? It's not like I'm playing somewhere now where scouts can come and check me out. He was taking the pessimistic viewpoint. But the more I talked about the idea, the more I believed that it could really work. You know, I told him there are so many advantages to, being gay. We got a hell of a network and a lot of resources. Like what, he asked. Obviously, but still doubtful. I know some people who can get you on in Europe. They have plenty of open gay players over there. Then I took a leap of faith and suggested something I almost didn't realize I'd been thinking before I said it. We can both move there. I mean, if that sounds all right with you. He stared at me for a long and uncomfortable minute before he spoke. I hope he was really considering my plan, but if he was, he still needed more convincing. Just pack up and move to Europe. Are you crazy? We can't do that. Why not? I don't have anything holding me to this place. I work on myself as a consultant, and as I do most over the internet and by fax, I could lease my house. I have only one thing, and that's really nothing. I meant it too. Things were iffy between Big Papa and me. After all this time waiting for him to leave his wife and love me completely, I was beginning to realize that it was something that might never happen. Going to Europe with Ron would be the chance for me to finally live life on my terms. Really? You give up your life here? Why not? Things aren't really going well for me here. I like a fresh start too, as long as I'm with you. Jerome, you better not be playing with me. For the first time today, I saw a glimmer of hope in his eyes. Look, everything is going to be all right. That is, if you want it to be all right. Ron leaned back and released a genuine sigh. A genuine laugh. You know, I really missed you. I miss you too. So what do you think? Is it a plan? Ron didn't answer. He just got out of his seat and picked up his coat. Let's get out of here. I left the $20 bill on the table, and we headed for the exit, and we stopped into the parking lot. I took a chance and reached for Ron's hand. He didn't exactly grab mine eagerly. He didn't push me away either. You okay with this, I asked? He stopped walking and turned to me. I don't know yet. It doesn't feel uncomfortable, but I gotta get somewhere. Right? I said hopefully. Just let's take it slow. I'm not sure I want to go advertising to the world yet. Yeah, y'all. My little mommy tummy is what it is. Not really, because, like, you know. But yeah, when you sit down, your little bulge start coming out, so. Y'all allowed. Okay. No problem. I released his hand and patted his shoulder to let him know I meant it. After everything he suffered through, I wasn't about to place any unreasonable demands on him. I would allow him to grow comfortable with his sexuality at his own pace. Unfortunately, someone else had other plans. Aw, isn't that cute? Jerome was back with his little boy toy Ron. Hey Ron, you didn't drop the soap while you were locked up, did you? He laughed like a hyena. Every muscle in my body tensed up. How the hell had Peter found us here? As fast as I had been driving to get the jail reeler, there's no way he could have followed me. I didn't realize at the time, now I believe he had been keeping an eye on Ron. And who knows how many other former lovers, on the off chance he needed to blackmail material to prevent me from getting back together with any of them. He had somehow learned about the arrest, and for all I knew, he'd been at the jail before I even got there. Don't ask me how this psycho managed to even get a real job with all the time he seemed to spend destroying my life. I saw a camera flash as Peter announced, "Hold it still. There's a great cover on the Danville Register in B." "Who the hell is that?" Ron asked. "That's the son of the bitch who took our picture with our family and friends last." I didn't even finish my sentence before I was on top of Peter. "You're the mother who ruined my life. I'm gonna kill you." Ron screamed repeatedly as he threw blow after blow. "Peter, what the hell with the camera? What the hell with the camera? Up with the camera." Y'all get what I'm saying. Yeah. I don't know about y'all, but I sometimes have issues with confusing letters and shit, so it's like the letters will be all over the page, and I haven't read consistently in a minute, so it's like I be trying not to like read over words, if that makes sense. But yeah. He fell to the ground and covered his head. Ron stopped delivering punches, but he wasn't finished with Peter quite yet. He spotted the camera lying beside Peter and raised it high in the air. "Stop it, Ron, stop it." "He ain't worth it," I shouted, terrified that I was about to witness Peter's brains being splattered all over the pavement. Not that I wouldn't have enjoyed having Peter out of my life, but Ron would have suffered some serious consequences. The judge sure as hell wouldn't have given him no $1,000 bail for a murder charge. It took all of my strength to pull Ron off of Peter. "Come on, man. You just got out of jail. He's not worth it. Let's get out of here." Ron finally came to his senses and lowered his camera to his side. He took one last look at Peter and was still covering in fetal position on the ground. And then Ron spat on him. He threw the camera against the concrete, stomping on it a few times for good measure, until it lay in pieces. I took my arm and gently led him away from my car. Peter wiped blood from his mouth and gathered enough strength to call out, "This isn't over, Jerome. Not by a long shot. I swear to God I'm going to get both of you if it's the last thing that I do." We're on chapter 12, and this is Leon's part, okay? I opened my eyes to a pleasant sight of two large breasts hovering over me. I loved the reins, and she knew it. They swung, smacking me playfully in the face, and every once in a while a nipple would slide in front of my lips. I would, until the other breast knocked it out of the way. She lowered her chest until my head was the center of a titty sandwich, which made me laugh. I kissed between her breasts and then squeezed on them either side of my head. I always loved it when Lorraine was playful, but after a while I was becoming uncomfortable. I lifted my arms to ease her off of me, but I was having trouble breathing. But my arms wouldn't budge, and then I realized that I was tied down. "Baby, please, I can't breathe." I managed to say between short breaths. The more I struggled, the more weight she placed on me. Was she trying to kill me? Why wouldn't she let up? I struggled for air, but like I said, the more I struggled, the more weight she applied. I thought about trying to twist my way down too. Jesus Christ, my wife was trying to kill me. It looked like she was going to exceed. Finally, she took pity and sat me up. Unfortunately, that was the beginning of my horror, because when I saw her face, I felt like I was going to pass out. It wasn't my beloved Lorraine who was trying to kill me. It was my Aunt Barbara. And she wasn't showing me any real pity. She was just repositioning her triple D breast to make it easier to suffocate me. Now you'll be with me forever, baby, she said. As she lowered her breast down on my face again, I was helpless to do anything except scream. So that's what I did. Aunt Barbara, please, I don't want to die. Leon, honey, wake up, you're dreaming again. Lorraine was shaking me, and when I opened my eyes this time, I can't tell you how relieved I was to see her face. You okay? I nodded. Yeah, I'm okay. God, it was so real. Was your uncle beating you with that damn strap again? No, it was my aunt. I sat up and wiped my forehead, noticing the sheets were damp because I had been sweating so profusely. Your aunt was beating you? No, she was trying to kill me, I said. I was trying to make sense of the dream. My Aunt Barbara was trying to kill me. I wasn't about to tell her how. From her expression, it was clear that the news was confusing to Lorraine. I had a negative thing to say about Aunt Barbara. While my nightmares about my abusive uncle made sense to her, she had no information to help her understand why I would be having bad dreams about my beloved aunt. Why would she want to kill you? She loved you, didn't she? Yeah, she loved me, all right. Lorraine picked up a sarcasm right away. I thought it was your uncle who would beat you. Are you trying to say your aunt was in on it too? I didn't answer her. Instead, I got up and walked into the bathroom. I guess I was hoping that would be enough to make her drop the subject, but it wasn't. She followed me, pestering me with more questions as I urinated. It had been 2 weeks since the hypnosis session that I uncovered the memories about my first kiss. Since then, I've been hypnotized 2 more times and recalled quite a bit more about my past that had been buried deep in my subconscious. Most of it was very embarrassing, but at least I knew I was starting to get some answers about who and what I really was. I hadn't shared any of this with Lorraine because I was afraid that the disturbing truths about my past and the man I had become because of it might be more than she could handle. It was the last time that would finally break up our marriage. Are you going to talk to me about what happened when the doctor hypnotized you? I'm not stupid, you know. I found out more about your aunt and your uncle than you're saying. Lorraine's voice was stern. How can I help if I don't know what's going on? As I moved to the toilet to the sink to wash my hands, I held her stare. She kept looking at me, her eyes commanding me to speak about what was in my heart. She wouldn't break the stare. She waited patiently until I finished washing my hands, and then she blocked me from the exit of the bathroom. Honey, can you please move out the way? I lifted my hands up, showing the palms of my non-combative gesture. Sure, if you promise to tell me what the hell is going on. The doctor has hypnotized you 3 times in the past 2 weeks, and you haven't told me a thing. I have a fucking right to know. I'm your wife. Sweetheart, be careful what you ask for. I recently learned that some doors you don't want to open. I'm a big girl. I can handle it. I took you for better or for worse, remember? This kind of pushed a button for me. Where was all this commitment, for better or for worse, when she thought I was cheating and she kicked me out of the house? To tell you the truth, sometimes it felt like I was the one doing all the work to keep us together. She had allowed herself to be duped by Jerome when he framed me as a cheater. Yet I was the one going through this difficult therapy as if my sexual performance wasn't the only problem that we had. What about her problem with trust, which she never addressed when she asked me to come back home? She apologized to me, and she never considered the idea that maybe she had issues of her own that caused her to be distrustful. Well, fine. If she was such a big girl now and wanted to see what was for the worst really meant, then I would tell her what my hypnosis had uncovered. Okay, Big Sexy, if you want to know, I'll tell you. I just hope that you don't go running for the hills once you know the truth. This caused her to look a little bit apprehensive, but I knew Lorraine, and she was not one to back down easily. She stepped out of the way and let me out of the bathroom. I want to know, Leon. You can tell me whatever it is. I walked past her and sat on the bed. She took a seat next to me and placed her hand over mine. I took a deep breath and admitted to her that I learned my first hypnosis session about kissing my aunt. Lorraine didn't say a word. She squeezed my hand. Only time would tell if she was going to be supportive after I explained what I had learned in the next 2 sessions of 3. The next time the doctor hypnotized me, I went back around a year and a half after that kiss. She flinched almost imperceptibly, probably because I referred to it as my first kiss. I nodded in answer to her silent question. Yeah, it was the first, but definitely not the last. By now, I was feeling some strange release, filling my guts to her. So I continued without any prompting on her part. But the second section, I realized my aunt seduced me into having sex with her on a regular basis to keep me around. Lorraine flew her hand to her mouth. Oh my God, I can't believe she did that to you. You were just a kid. I was 14, I corrected. I wasn't sure why. I was almost like I was defending Aunt Barbara, like sex with a 14-year-old nephew was any less offensive than anyone who was younger. I would have to talk to Roberta about why I did that. Lorraine looked as if she was sick to her stomach. I know it's disgusting, I said. I waited for her to speak, but it looked like she was having trouble processing the information. Part of me was relieved that she didn't run out the room screaming at this point, but it was driving me crazy that she didn't speak. Was she judging me? I felt the need to defend myself from her silence. How do you think I feel, Lorraine? I can't imagine myself doing that, and now that I got these images instilled in my brain, Roberta says I blocked all this from my consciousness mind until now because I tried to protect myself. I can see what she means because some days I feel as though it's enough to drive me crazy. You never told anyone that this was happening, she asked. So sadly, it sounded as if there was a judgment in her question. I was a kid. I was confused. Roberta says it's not uncommon for a child, even a teenager, to do something to stop it. After all, it was a woman who loved me. She took care of me, and I had no one else when no one else would. It's hard for a kid to truly understand that someone who loves them so much can also hurt you and can do bad things. Now I'm starting to understand that she did change the man I became. Even now, I have a hard time understanding the difference between right and wrong because Aunt Barbara was so good to me, but so bad at the same time. But maybe if you had told someone. I put up my hand up to her. It's okay, Lorraine. I don't expect for you to understand. That's why I didn't tell you in the first place. But you can tell me the truth. You think I'm some kind of freak now, don't you? Lorraine waited before she spoke, as if she wanted to pick up her words carefully. Baby, it's not your fault. If you were just a child doing what you were told, your aunt was just sick, and so was your uncle. So anyway, I started trying to sound lighthearted as I redirected the conversation. Roberta thinks this stuff with my aunt is the key to the whole premature ejaculation thing. I would have had to live with these memories every day now that they resurfaced. And so would Lorraine now that I revealed them to her. At least we could try to focus on the good that might come of it. She does? Lorraine's whole demeanor changed. Yeah, seems that my aunt was so afraid that we get caught by my uncle that she would rush me to ejaculations. Somehow she trained my body to conform to what she wanted. Dr. Marshall feels like it's just a matter of time before she's find a switch in my mind that would snap me back to normal. Lorraine heaved a sigh of relief. I swear I could see every muscle in her body relax. I'm not gonna lie, honey. I'm just glad to know it's not me. For a while I thought it was my fault. Oh no, baby, it was never your fault. I find you to be one of the sexiest women alive. I'm just all messed up inside. I've got some stuff to work through. I reached for her hand. Do you hate me for what happened? Leon, how could you say that? The wrong was done to you. You were a minor. This time I didn't doubt her sincerity. She wasn't just feeding me words to prove that she was on my side. She was truly accepting me and all of my baggage. I just brought into our already changing relationship. Lorraine tilted up her chin and kissed me tenderly. We can get through this together. I felt tears of appreciation flood my eyes. Lorraine, I love you. You're the best. Thank you for being there for me. As she held me in her arms, just feeling her big breast against my chest had me aroused. I gave her a deep kiss and tried to fondle her, and it wasn't long before she gently eased herself out of my reach. How about if we don't have sex for a while until you work through? That way you won't have added pressure on you. Lorraine had hit the nail on the head. Sex usually did end up making me feel pressure. If I could work through my feelings about me and my aunt, it might fix the problem that I had in the long run. But I never would have dreamed suggesting no sex to my wife. I was way too afraid that she'd leave me. I had to make sure she was really okay with it now. You think that's a good idea? Yeah. We should cuddle and hug. Sex isn't important if two people love each other, right, Leon? Lorraine leaned back into the bed and held out her arms. I happily nested up next to her to get cozy in Lorraine's soft embrace, where I slept peacefully for the first time in a long time. Chapter 13. Don't mind that the book was kind of like written on, because this is not a this was a used book before I had got it. So anyway, I cannot wait to get you home tonight. Celeste purred on the dance floor, our bodies intertwining as if they were one. We've been flirting back and forth since the moment we'd arrived at the annual African Dance for Literacy at the Marriott Hotel on Broad Street. So far, it had been a night to remember. The food was excellent. They had a great band with the Beyonce clone, whose singing could have passed for the real thing. And more importantly, they were giving away $5,000 to $10,000 scholarships. I just hope that you know what to do with me when you get me there, I teased. Well, if I don't, I'll make it up as I go. So I prepared for anything, and I mean anything. She turned around and ground her plump, round hips into my groin. For the next song, the band slowed things down and Celeste wrapped her arms around my neck while mine slid around her waist. All in all, as dates go, I give this one an 8 out of 10 with a definite possibility for improvement. As the night went on, we've been dating for almost a month, and Celeste had made it clear that it was time for us to seal the deal. From the way my manhood was reacting to her bumping and grinding on the dance floor, I was apt to agree with her. Had been 4 months since I had been with Lorraine, a long, hard 4 months, and I had to admit I was about due. Nothing short of a miracle was going to keep me and Celeste from consummating our relationship tonight. Oh, hell fucking no. You have to be kidding me, Celeste cursed. Sorry, I immediately lifted my hands when she slid down from her waist to her hips and ass. I didn't think she was going to have a problem with it after the way we'd been dancing. But that'll tell you how much I know about women. No, that's not it. She guided my hands back down over to her ass. I wasn't about to argue with her, but I was curious about why she cursed. Everything all right? I don't know. You tell me. Isn't that your ex over there? Where? I didn't mean to seem so eager, but my neck did snap around the axis as I spun around. I don't see her. By the pole, staring at us. I looked in the direction that Celeste was gazing, and I saw Lorraine, along with her chump husband of hers. He hadn't seen me, but Lorraine's eyes were fixated on us like laser beams. Once again, I lifted my hands from Celeste's ass. I could feel her body stiffen when she told me she wasn't very happy about it. What was Lorraine doing here? Then again, why wouldn't she be here? She's damn near the mayor of Richmond with all the people that she knew. I must have been gawking a little too long because Celeste pinched my arm. I think it's time we leave. I took another look at Lorraine and sighed. You know what? I think you're right. Best for me to get my behind out of here. I could feel it in my bones that sticking around was going to be nothing but trouble. Maybe if I took Celeste home and she put it on me, she'd be promising all night I'd be able to erase her from my mind in the image of Lorraine and her death stare. The second her arms came from around my neck, Celeste took my arm and practically marched me off the dance floor. There was no doubt in my mind that she was sending Lorraine a very clear message. He's mine. And then she said, itch. As we headed for the coat check, I couldn't help but sneak another peek at Lorraine. She had a sour expression on her face, but she still looked damn good. I handed Celeste our coat claims. I'll be right back. I have to use the restroom. I wasn't that I was planning on going to talk to Lorraine. In fact, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I know this silent tug of war between two women had me feeling claustrophobic. It'd be like that. My escape to the men's room was just an excuse to put some physical distance between me and the situation. Celeste wasn't about to let me get away easy. She tightened her grip around my hand. You okay? Are you still spending the night at my house? Ain't nothing changed, Celeste. I took her hands in my arms and gave her a reassuring kiss. Good. Now hurry back. Make sure you wash your hands. She slapped me on the butt playfully as I walked away. Fortunately, I didn't have to pass Lorraine on my way to the bathroom. I figured I could spend a few minutes in there gathering my thoughts, and then Celeste and I could get out of here. At least that's the way I thought it would go down. But Lorraine had other ideas, and she was standing outside the men's room with her arms folded and a scowl on her face when I exited. Lorraine, for a brief second it crossed my mind that she wasn't just standing there waiting for Leon to come out of the men's room. But the look on her face made me dismiss that thought quickly. Her angry glare was directed right at me. I tried to avoid looking in her eyes, but the only thing that made me notice was the purple dress that she was wearing. It was one I had seen before. I loved the way it showed off her thick shape. A rush of emotions overcame me all at once. I was happy to see her. I was physically aroused by the sight of her. I wanted to hear how much she was wrong to leave me and that she loved me as much as I loved her. But in spite of all these feelings, I couldn't ignore that she was glowering and harsh words she spoke. Don't Lorraine me. Who the hell was that? Who was what? What are you talking about? She pointed a finger in my face. Don't play stupid with me, Michael. Who the hell was that trashy-ass woman you were feeling all over? You mean Celeste? Celeste isn't trashy. I suppressed a smirk. It gave me a certain sense of satisfaction to know that the sight of me with another woman made Lorraine jealous. It was the least she deserved after all the pain she put me through. Yeah, I love Lorraine, but that didn't mean she didn't deserve a little bit of payback. Michael, you wouldn't know trashy if it hit you in the face. If you don't respect yourself, at least have some for me. I can't believe you would bring some tramp in my face like this. Was she for real? I don't bring anyone in her face. I didn't even know you were coming here, she laughed. You're such a pathetic liar. You followed me all the way to Williamsburg. Of course you would follow me to the club. You brought that woman here on purpose, trying to make me jealous. I crossed my arms and leaned against the wall, raising my brows in the look that suggested it worked, didn't it? But Lorraine wasn't about to admit defeat. Well, newsflash, if you're going to try to make me jealous, at least make sure it's an upgrade. But she's not even my class, and I can't believe you would date someone so ugly. Don't talk about her like that. Celeste is not ugly by a long shot, and you know it. What is going on with you anyway? You didn't used to be so petty. This stopped her for a second. Lorraine prided herself on being classy, and her behavior was anything but that right now. I realized that she took a deep breath and tried to change directions. Well, if she's so damn pretty, then you need to be with her and leave me the hell alone. Wow, so she is jealous. There was no doubt about it. The way she had dismissed me in Williamsburg, I thought for sure she was done with me. But now she was practically begging me not to forget her. I guess seeing me with another woman reminded her of what I had to offer. Well, I had the upper hand now, and I wasn't sure I wasn't going to give it up yet. I am with her, and as far as leaving you alone, I don't know what you're talking about. It's been a long time since you heard from me. Oh, please, she scoffed. It wasn't that long ago that you were circling my block with your lights off. Okay, she got me with that one. I had done that a few times since the incident in Williamsburg, but I didn't know she had seen me. Maybe it was time to end this battle of the wills while I still was ahead. Let Lorraine stew in her jealousy for a while. Look, Lorraine, you're the one who dumped me and told me to move on. So if that's what I'm trying to do, if I was you, I would have get used to seeing me and Celeste on the social scene. She countered with, you know what, Michael, you need to get over me. I was about to tell Lorraine it was the other way around when I heard Celeste's voice. Michael, she stood a foot away from us, holding our coats. She gave me a brilliant smile that I'm sure was more for Lorraine's benefit. Ready to go home, honey? I had to give her credit. She could have came down, tearing down the hall and gotten up in Lorraine's face, you know, the typical back up off my man routine, but with just one smile, she let Lorraine know that she had no doubt which one of them would be leaving with me. The funny thing was, she was totally right. As much as I wanted Lorraine, as many times I had begged her to give me another chance, oh damn it, I was going to prove that I could do just that. I'll be right there, I told Celeste, and I turned back to Lorraine. I have to go. My date's calling me. But it was nice seeing you again, Lorraine. Whatever, she huffed. I took a few steps down the hall and turned around and told her, by the way, I always thought you looked hot in the purple dress. Chapter 14. Okay, tomorrow, guys, we'll be doing chapter 14 up until 16. So stay tuned for that. I'm currently really tired because I recorded 3 videos back to back. So I'm gonna let y'all go. I hope you guys enjoyed these recent 3 chapters. And look, we're almost halfway done. Like, we're getting closer and closer to being done. So we're almost there. That's my shit. By the way, I think this is Lorraine. Like, this is the actual depiction of who Lorraine is. Yeah, I think this is Lorraine. Like, just from looking at the picture, like, yeah. Because remember, they said the purple dress, and then she has on this. This is not really a dress, but the rain is really pretty, y'all. Look. Y'all see her? I'm trying to figure out who she looks like to me. Like, I'm trying to figure out who she looks like to me. But yeah, she's really pretty. Carl Reber definitely did his thing with this book. I didn't want to put it down, y'all, but I have to. So until next time, peace out, girl scouts.